This is Annalise Jarvis. This is AJ Sapkowski. Last year they won their sport's highest award, and recently they sat down to discuss the DNA of the Player of the Year.
So we're going to dive into the award. First off, congratulations on being the Pitcher of the Year. Would you like to give an acceptance speech?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm not one for, speeches and things like that. But if I could thank a bunch of people, I would definitely thank my coaches for believing in me. Coach Kat saw something in freshman year me that I couldn't see. That meeting that I had with Razy the week before the first game where she said, "You're capable of more than you're letting yourself believe." I would like to thank her for that, definitely, because, again, she saw something in me that I didn't know. And that definitely tailored to me winning. And a really funny speech I think is great. Nancy Nash won an Emmy for a Netflix documentary that she did. And she got up there to accept her first Emmy, and she said, "I just really want to thank myself because no one knows how hard I worked but me." And she got a lot of backlash for it coming off as cocky and confident and over the top, arrogant about her award. But she really is true. There's no one in this world that knows how hard I worked but me. And you know the same thing. There's no one in the world that knows. No coach, no parent, no teammate knows the internal conflict that comes from winning an award like that. And so I'm really proud of myself, so I want to thank myself. And I'm really proud of little girl me who was told that she would never do anything that big.
So at what point did you finally reflect on your accomplishments from last season, and at what point did that kind of sink in that you were the Pitcher of the Year?
I don't think it really ever sunk in, because I don't know if it ever has sunk in yet, but it hit starting to train for the fall. And I'll explain a little bit about the day we came home from the World Series. The next day I moved into a new apartment because I got married one month after the World Series. So I moved, went home for 2 weeks, and I'm talking spray tan appointment, nail appointment, hair appointment, bridal portraits, rehearsal dinner, dress fitting. There was no time for it to sink in. I just had to jump into what wedding planning was in that next chapter of my life, and especially in the summer. It hit when, it's a very specific moment. When we come back in the fall, Coach Kat has very specific standards she has us coming back at. We have to run a mile at a certain time. We have to do some weight room testing just to get us working over the summer. So after my honeymoon, I came back. I'm back in Lawrenceville, and I was going to run my mile to train. It's the first time I ran that mile since playing at the World Series. And running that mile, I ran it with no music. I ran it just me in the complex. That's when it hit. Running a mile knowing that I won that and that I'm about to start a whole nother year, that's when it hit. I was running that mile and going, oh shoot. I was back in the complex for the first time since the World Series. Oh shoot, I won.
As college athletes, there's definitely not much off time, especially when over that summer you got married. But would you say you got to enjoy it, or was the marriage kind of you enjoying it?
I would say yes, I got to enjoy it for a short period of time. And then you have to just jump back into it. I had to jump into what my new role was as a wife and wedding planning and honeymoon and all of those things. And then 2 weeks after I came back, hey, I'm jumping into training for 2024. So I don't even know what it looks like to enjoy something like that, but I would say the best that I could. I did soak it all in.
I think I have an educated guess, but what was your best moment of 2023?
I would say personally my best moment was when we played opening round. It was an 11-inning opening round championship game, and a very, very specific play moment was a pop-up was hit to center field to Chloe Goins. She threw the tag-up runner at third, who would have been the winning run of that game, threw home. Sydney Pelias tagged her out, and we went crazy. And that was the moment, I think, for our team, for me personally, that happened, and it hit us oh, we're about to do this. We're about to do this. We ended up scoring 2 runs that inning and went in the bottom of the 11th, then got them out and over a pop-up in left field. But so yeah, I would say that's our biggest moment. I think internally as a team, another big moment we had was we played Mobile in 2 extra inning games, I think mid-April. that was a really big game for us. We had a bus break down on the way. We had a 3-hour delay because our bus broke down. We ate lunch together. We walked to some stores just so we didn't sit on a bus for 3 hours. We had to delay the game by 3 hours. We went there, played 9 innings in the first game, 11 innings in the second game, got out of there at midnight, and we ended up winning both games. And so I think internally for us as a team, we knew what we were capable of after that Mobile game.
How'd you figure out that you won the award?
Of course, you throw a perfect game first game out. Your team, your family, your coaches, the people that are so invested in you and love you are like, oh my gosh, you're going to win it all. Oh my gosh, you're going to be the best pitcher of the year. You're going to be the best pitcher in the country. But of course, you think that award is always up in the air. But it hit. We were playing a team down in Florida when we went on our Florida trip. I cannot remember what team it was. But the announcer for the live stream of that team, and it was a away game, said, ladies and gentlemen, I think you're looking at the pitcher of the year. And that was the first time that somebody else who wasn't directly influenced, of course my parents think we can win, maybe I think I can win. It was the first time that someone who didn't really know me was like, this is who that is. And so that was the turning point for me where I was like, I think I can win it. It was on June 6th was when they were going to announce NFCA All-Americans, and I'm very a research-based person. I'm a very stats-oriented person. I have figured out that if you are the first All-American listed on this list, the first All-American is always either Pitcher of the Year or Player of the Year. Don't know why, but I did like 10 years of research. It's always happened. And I was the first All-American listed. So I was like, ooh, maybe. And it didn't come out for 2 more days. And the day we came back from the World Series, I had my exit meeting with Coach Kat. And she had known that was a big goal of mine. She had known there was definitely talk about it. And I just sat in her office and I looked straight at her and I said, I need you to cut me just straight up. Do you think I'm going to win? I needed someone to just tell me yes or no. And she said, I don't really know. I give you like a 60% chance at this state. I don't really know. At this time, I think she did know. But she was like, I give you like a 60% chance. And I said, okay, great. And I went home, and the day that I was listed first, and I thought about it, she called me, and it wasn't going to be announced the day after. She calls me, and I was an All-American at that point. She says, hey, congratulations on being All-American. Thanks, Coach. She said, oh, and by the way, congratulations, 2-time Pitcher of the Year. And I had no clue what she meant. I had got Conference Pitcher of the Year, and I was like, okay, girl, what do you mean? And she said, no, you won NFCA and NAIA Pitcher of the Year. And I freaked out. My dad was there with me, and so it was really special to have her be able to call and tell me and hear it from Coach Kat instead of like finding out, on social media or something. It was just really special because she had known how important that award was to me and how much that we had worked together. And it was so important because she saw something in me. I said that earlier. She saw something in me my freshman year. And so for her to be the one to let me know I won was really special.
When there was first word of the possibilities of you winning the Pitcher of the Year, was that something where your mind had to shift into another level, or was it kind of just getting back to who you were up until that point?
Definitely. You have to remain true to yourself and remain true to who you are as a player. But the second that somebody mentions, like, hey, there's a chance, it definitely clicks up. You definitely work harder. You definitely watch film harder. You definitely really are into opening rounds. You're following other pitchers and other things that are happening, and you're really focused on your stats, which can get, because I've had in the past the issue with letting my stats define me. I definitely had to work through that and see what that looks like. Hey, I have to throw so many strikeouts this game because so-and-so from so-and-so's team threw 15, which means I have to throw 16. Mm-hmm. And so you definitely get your mind wrapped up into what is the next level, if that's even possible.
So what does winning the Pitcher of the Year mean to you?
It's a really awesome feeling, and it's one you can't describe. It's a feeling that can only be felt. Same thing with being at the World Series. I can't describe it to a freshman that doesn't know. It's a feeling that can only be felt. And the feeling is just the feeling of it's relieved, like it worked. Because I had so much doubt, maybe I was making the wrong decision transferring. Maybe I made the wrong decision my freshman year to go to this school. But maybe I was going to have a sophomore slump and not be super outstanding. It's just like all the complaining about running, all the hard practices, all the times you stayed up late studying. Winning that award just hit me with the biggest feeling of, it worked. It worked. And pushing yourself in the weight room, pushing yourself on the field, making sure your mile time is up to so much to make sure your endurance is strong. Spending your only free time from softball watching softball teams play to know how to get these girls out. It's just this big relieving feeling of, it worked.
You can finally breathe.
Yeah, it worked.